I become
Okay. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming. Hopefully tonight's a good debate. We are discussing the economic impact that immigration has on the United States. I am arguing the side that they are net positive. I believe my opponent, Apple Glock, will be arguing they're a net negative. But I think that when we talk about immigration, too often, what we're actually focusing on is fear. Honestly, the truth is, immigration has always been one of America's greatest economic strengths. I want to start just with the most basics of understanding, okay? Immigrants grow our workforce and our economy. The Migration Policy Institute points out that by expanding the working age population, immigrants boost both production and consumer demand. Economists estimate they create what they call an immigration surplus or a net gain for native-born Americans worth tens of billions of dollars. They also fill critical roles for jobs. They do agriculture, they do construction, we're talking healthcare. Immigrants step literally into industries where there's always labor shortages. The Bush Institute actually highlights how this keeps businesses running and prices stable. Instead of slowing growth or driving up costs. Sorry, tractors going by. But honestly, it's not just about filling jobs, it's also about creating them. Immigrants are twice as likely as native-born Americans to start a business. Don't take my word for it. You can go to the Migration Policy Institute and read the report yourself. Think about companies that we have like Google, Tesla, Pfizer, all immigrant founders or co-founders. These businesses don't just employ millions of people, they make America more competitive in the world stage market. Now listen, some people are going to argue that immigrants are a drain on public resources, and that's fine. Go ahead and make that argument. But the evidence says otherwise. Over their lifetime, immigrants will actually contribute more in taxes than they use in services. Analysis groups find that they actually make a net positive on every kind of fiscal impact that you can read. You know what that means? That means they fund schools. It means they help fund roads, Social Security, Medicare. And the last point is really the key point. With our population aging, retirement age is climbing, our working middle class people, the taxpayers we need to keep our safety net strong, is depleting, okay? Immigration helps solve that demographic challenge. Without it, Social Security and Medicare would be even under more strain. So here's my bottom line. Immigration is not an economic threat. It's an economic engine. It grows our workforce, fills our jobs, sparks innovation, helps public finance, and it keeps America competitive, and immigration helps keep us strong.
All right, that's time, CT. Thanks. Mojo, if you don't know how to reset that, then I can just go with it at 1:30. Oh, you got it? Okay, good. All right, Apple, you got 3 minutes once the timer's up. Give it 1 sec.
Now it's not doing crap. Okay, hold on. I got it. There you go.
Awesome. Okay, so nobody's arguing that immigrants are the problem of this country. It's illegal immigration that's the problem. It's people that like to come over here in February of 2022 and flood our border with 10,000 people a day, taking American jobs away, taking hospice jobs away, taking healthcare jobs away. And I'm not saying that these companies are doing it right, but they need to be fined. H-1B1 visas with what the executive order President Trump just signed, I'm all for it because that's taking tech jobs away from Americans who are freshly getting out of college or hiring somebody straight out of India and saying, hey, I can pay you 1/3 of the time I'm going to pay for this American worker, which if we control this immigration policy, it'll give higher wages to Americans. I'm not saying everybody wants to go be an agricultural worker. What I'm saying is that these tech jobs are being pushed overseas. But with what President Trump is doing with that executive order, it's going to keep these companies here in America. It's going to stop pushing them overseas, and it's going to rely Americans to properly get jobs, get vetted, get potential jobs at Google, ByteDance, Tesla, so on and so forth. I do not have a problem with immigration. I have a problem with illegal immigration. Now, let's just get it real. Nobody wants to go out and pick stuff in the fields. Like, I get that. Like I said, I'm all for legal immigration for these higher end tech jobs with this H-1B1 visa brings. So H-1C1 visas are people that live in Mexico and they come over every day. They work here in Arizona where I'm at or in Southern California during the agricultural season, i.e. October through March. And then they go home back to Mexico. But the difference is they're doing it the right legal way. All right. And then I'll yield the rest of my time with that.
Thanks, Apple Glock. So we'll go into the 2-minute rounds. CT, when the timer restarts, you have 2 minutes.
Trying to get this
Alright.
quicker. Sorry.
No worries.
Wish I could set it up ahead of time.
Go ahead, CT.
CT, you're muted.
Support your local ice raids.
I got this. Let's talk faster. So yeah, when we are talking about illegal immigrants, we're talking about whether they're a net positive or a net negative. All right, we're talking about a group of people that pay almost $100 billion a year in taxes for services that they will never actually get to take advantage of. People without Social Security numbers are paying into things like Medicare and Medicaid. They will never receive that. They'll never receive retirement. If it wasn't for them, can you imagine the strain that would happen? We're talking about anywhere from 10 to 13 million people in America. Can you imagine what the job market would look like if we lost that? Can you imagine how much we'd spend to actually remove 10 to 13 million people? The biggest thing as well, too, is that when people say like they're a strain on like public benefits, right? That's the thing. They're not. Most immigrants, like I said, especially undocumented, are ineligible for these things, right? Studies even show like native-born households, they actually use welfare at a much higher dollar. These people are not coming over here just to, grab ass at the great things that America has to offer. They're coming here to actually be beneficial and help our country grow. In a country right now, by the way, that cannot keep up on the amount of children that we need born, we're talking about removing people. Now, whether you like the laws or not, here's the thing. Whether somebody's here legally or not, if their children are born here, those are Americans. That's how it's been for a long time. Hopefully, that's how it's going to be going forward. I understand this administration really wants to take that down, but to me, that looks like a real net positive way to make up for the fact that we have so many people going into the retiring age, and we have so few people being born right now. The idea that we need these people to help our GDP grow, and we want to get rid of them, is crazy to me economically. I cannot see the net positives. I'll see my time.
Apple Block, when the timer starts at 2, all you.
At 2, are we doing 2-2? Oh, we are doing 2-2. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
God,
Am I good?
yeah.
Okay, so so CT, I'm not fighting you on that. The only thing I'm saying is that I'm all about legal immigration, not illegal immigration. So you can't sit here and tell me that people coming to the border and that they're claiming asylum automatically get work visas. That's not how this shit works. Because if that's the case, then they're taken away from people who's been doing this for 15 years, who's been spending thousands of dollars and going to court fees, going to court, and have been fighting themselves, like people in Arizona, like I said, or wherever they're at in the country, right? So it's not okay because people are here illegally. Immigrants are a part of this economy. I'm not faulting you on that. But what I'm saying is that they need to do it the right and legal way, because like in the military, for example, a lot of them join the military to get their citizens, their status. And yes, a lot of these illegal immigrants are coming over here with 6+ kids. They're saying, hey, we need Section 8. Hey, we need food stamps. We need SNAP benefits in these crazy, what do you want to call it, sanctuary cities, to where they're now, look at New York. They're a drain on their economy. They don't even want them there. And they're up here causing shit for people that are pushing from local resources. So yes, they are. They're not receiving. Actually, some of them are receiving benefits from Social Security and everything else from being here from the previous administration. So that's why President Trump is coming forward and saying, hey, nope, all done. And that's why in the big, beautiful bill, there was a big part of immigration reworks and the way visas are going to be put out, so on and so forth. And he's now signing executive orders that are a part of the big, beautiful bill. I can see my time with that.
Thanks, Apple. And so CT, we're doing 1 minute now, and then we're gonna redo the whole round. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay. So CT, yeah, 1 minute when the timer starts.
That'll work. It's weird that you brought up asylum seekers specifically. Even asylum seekers, right? They are not a drain on America. Like, first of all, asylum seekers are legally entitled to apply under the U.S. and international law. They don't have to do it at a port of entry. All they have to do is have 2 feet on our soil anywhere, and within 365 days can legally go through the process, the due process.
Not true.
Of figuring out. Oh, you're supposed to be muted up right now. They have 365 days to, claim for asylum. On top of that, again, we are talking about people that are essential in jobs in agriculture, food service, care industry, where we're talking about having a labor shortage right now. There's 7 million jobs unaccounted for in a country where we're trying to get rid of millions of people. It doesn't make sense to me. On top of that, again, these people too, they contribute to that billions of dollars in taxes that we have. This is sales tax, payroll tax, they pay property tax, they pay federal tax. Like, even if they have a fake Social Security card, they never get to benefit from any of those things. All of these people are part of something much larger than what we're talking about. The numbers themselves in immigrants, 1 in 5 workers, right? That's illegal and legal. That's a huge portion. What are we talking, 32% of our workforce? That's a lot. We can't just get rid of that. We need these people to grow.
All right, Apple, you got one.
So CT, you're telling me that a lot of these people are here working under the table. Do you know what it requires to pay into the federal government? I'm not going to tell you, but it's an ITIN number. So they don't have Social Security numbers, but they have ITIN numbers. But those are the people that are doing it the right and legal way, that are here on H-1B1s or H-1C1s. And there's also a federal code that's not true if you're on here on U.S. soil. 131120 USC 131125 states that if you do not come through a port of entry, you are breaking our immigration laws. And there's also a policy against that. It's remain in Mexico. So that means you remain in Mexico until you get a court date. And if you do not abide by that, you are breaking our federal laws. I concede with that.
Thanks. And so we're going to go back to the 2 minutes. So CT, when the timer starts again, you got 2 minutes.
Yeah. We're going back to 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's how it's set up.
I thought we were doing the 15 back and forth after that.
We can do that if that's how you guys want to move forward. But
we were going to do 3 rounds of the controlled time and then the 15-minute.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. So did I use the wrong thing here then?
Nope. Remember, it's 2211 3 times. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
We're good.
Was the 15 minutes just with you two, or is the 15 minutes a group talk?
Just us two.
Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead, CT, 2 minutes.
Okay. No, Glock, I think it's funny that you mentioned Title Code 8. Specifically, though, the one that you're not talking about is 1158, subsection 208. The section literally lays out that all you need to do is have 2 feet on the ground within 365 days. You can claim asylum. Now, I'm not saying that you'll be granted it, but I am saying that you have the opportunity to do it, okay? But on top of that, what I really wanted to get to was beyond taxes, immigrants actually drive growth, whether they're legal or illegal. The Center for the American Progress found that legalizing undocumented workers would actually add about 1.7 trillion to our GDP over the next decade. We're talking about an increase of, on average, every year, year over year for the next 10 years of 2.6%. That's newer jobs. That's better Social Security. That's more driving and improvements. The biggest thing that we know is this, that whenever you introduce people into a market, right, every time you do this, where did that go? Hold on. Every time that you impact the market, let's say it's immigration, what happens? Demand goes up. When demand goes up, everyone thinks, oh, prices are going to increase. And yes, sometimes they will. That's why it's higher demand. You have the ability to change those prices. But you know what else happens when demand goes up? So, like, resources are needed. Wages go up. Wages have to increase to meet demand. So again, when we look at these people, I don't want to say these people, when we look at this specific group of people, I don't know how anybody could look at the dynamics of what they bring and not understand the net positive they have for America. And I'll secede.
Apple Glock, 2 minutes once the timer starts. And yeah, Mojo, thank you, because I confirmed I can't do it as a mod.
Okay, so I'll go back to what you said earlier. There is a federal code that breaks that. If you do not come through a port of entry, it's under code 8 US code 1325. If you don't like the law, then change it. I don't agree with it, but that's our fucking laws as a federal statute right now. And that makes you a criminal. If you come in this country illegally, you are a criminal. You are a criminal. And that's what ICE is doing, rounding them all up and deporting them. And that's, if you don't want due process, then do it the legal way. But if, like you said, if immigrants make such a positive network to our economy, then why was the growth made in Q2 3.8 under Donald Trump? And then also there were just 991,000 jobs redacted under the Biden administration in 2024. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying immigrants don't do it, but legal immigration does it, not illegal, legal. I redact with that.
Okay. So CT, 1 minute.
All right, I got to be really, really clear here. It's all right. 1325 is great. You should also read 1326, which is immediately after it. Entering the U.S. without inspection is a civil violation. It's not criminal. So it's under immigration law that there's not a criminal act at all. Title 8 of the U.S. Code treats unlawful presence as a civil matter. It's explicitly legal under Title Code US 8 USC 1158. So painting this idea that every undocumented immigrant is a criminal is literally what I talked about in my opening statement. It's not actually focusing on anything about economics or tradition. It's fear. And when we run off that fear of itself the whole time, I think it clouds our judgments into thinking that things are problematic when they're actually not. I think we actually have to take a look at ourselves and realize this country has been built off the backs of immigrants since we started. I understand why people want to change it now, but I really don't think that not only moralistically is it correct, I think economically it's just really irresponsible.
Apple, you got 1 minute.
So, right, I agree with you. But then why was it under the Obama administration that all these Democrats were with that? He was known as the deporter in chief. So why is it now that Donald Trump's doing it, it's such a problem? And that's the thing is Obama gave ICE a good funding, just like Trump did. But now that Trump did it, he's a fascist. Oh, he's all this. He hates immigrants. No. No. The United States loves immigrants, but we love it the legal and proper way. And you come in, you get vetted, and then you also get a proper visa. But like I said, now that Trump's doing it, it's so racist. Fuck ICE. They're a Gestapo. They're a whatever you want to call them. But when Obama was doing it, it was okay. Obama deported 5.3 million illegal immigrants, not legal, illegal. So now that all these people are randomly showing up to the border, like I said, in February of 2022, we were taking 10,000 people a day. We cannot sustain that. We can't even sustain our own people.
Thanks, Apple. Okay, so CT, we're going into the 15-minute open debate now.
Oh,
All
we
right,
can, yeah,
and
that's fine.
Everybody in here, make sure you're gifting the debaters. Make sure you're gifting the mod, and give kudos or whatever.
Host. Yeah, and
No,
gifting
you don't
host,
have,
but also
yeah, don't give me anything.
whatever. Also, if you could tap the screen and share out. But just before we get into this 15-minute open, just a reminder, you guys, if you are talking over each other to the point where the audience can't hear you, I will step in and say something, ask you to go one at a time. I will not mute anybody. Try to keep it to 30, 45 seconds if you can. Stay away from monologues. I'll make sure both of you are doing that. And once the timer starts, you guys can go ahead.
So I'll just say real quick, I've debated with CT enough. We don't ever talk over. Go ahead, CT. Lead the way.
No, you go ahead. I started the whole debate, so you can take this one.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So Title 8 means remain in Mexico. So that remains you remain in Mexico until you apply through the CBP One app, right? So if you don't get a court date, then you're doing it illegally. If you just decide, oh, I'm going to jump the fence and I'm just going to come to Jorge that I know in Phoenix or in Tucson and be here, you're breaking federal law. You're not abiding by our laws. So therefore, your chances of being thank you for that. Your chances are assigned of being for asylum are damn near 0 to none because you're already breaking our laws. Whether people want to say what 1326 is, but 1325 clearly cuts it into a law. And at the end of the day, it's up to a federal judge. It's up to a federal immigration magistrate.
Correct. And I agree that people have to go and get the due process to actually do that. Now, again, when we're talking about asylum seekers, the majority of the ones that are coming here are seeking asylum for fear of safety or safety of their family. Why would we put somebody back into a situation where they are accessible to the people that could cause them harm and then allow that harm to happen while they're waiting upwards of 5 to 10 years?
But what about all these crimes with these illegal immigrants that are doing with pew-pews and are essaying American women, i.e. Lincoln Riley? What about, they're all illegal immigrants. What about those people? So they just slip through the cracks?
I don't think you actually care about crime, because if you did, you know that immigrants are above every other, especially illegal immigrants, don't even have a dent of an impact.
CT, they're a difference. They're already here illegally. They're already breaking a federal law. They shouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's not a federal law. It's a civil issue.
It doesn't matter. Civil, criminal, there's still U.S. code against it.
Yeah, that's great. But again, I don't think you actually care about those things. I don't think you actually care about the harm.
What do you mean I don't care about it?
I don't think you care, because if you did, your main focus would be on who causes the most harm to women and children in the world. And the last place you would look is illegal
But
immigration.
CT, you know the difference between them and illegal immigrants? They're U.S. citizens. We can properly put them in prison to where if you're an illegal immigrant, we got to reach out to your country or your what's that word embassy, or we got to reach out to your embassy for representation. It's bullshit, dude.
I don't think they do. For one, if they're going to deport them, then that means that we don't actually hold people accountable. But here's my question. What makes it worse when they're illegal? What makes the crime of somebody being unalived or harmed in some way worse in some kind of manner? Do you think that, like, to the father or the mother that loses a child, you think if somebody's here legally or illegally, it fucking hurts differently or what?
It doesn't matter if they're here. It doesn't matter because they're breaking federal U.S. code, and I'll say on this again. They're already criminals because they're here illegally. They're already breaking a U.S. code. They didn't go to a port of entry. They decided to hop the fence or know somebody, a coyote down at the southern border, to come pick them up and get them here. They're already criminals, man.
Right. So anybody that's breaking the law is a criminal? I'm not sure what their legal
Yes,
status of whether they're allowed to
100%.
be here or not is a big difference.
100%.
So what's the difference?
What?
How is
So what do you
one
mean?
worse?
What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't understand your argument. Like I said, you care about these things like Lake and Riley.
I do.
Would you-
Because they were done by illegal immigrants. They were
Would
done
you-
by people that were not meant to be here.
Would
People
you have
particularly
given a
from
shit?
Venezuela.
Would you have given a shit if it wasn't by an illegal? Would you know who Lake and Riley is?
Dude, it doesn't. Dude, you're playing out. Well, he said, she said.
No.
Or-
I'm playing
or
out
fourth
your
dimensional
point.
shit.
So what I said is I don't think you actually care about people that are harmed in this country. I think the
People are
energy-
essayed, dude. People are essayed every day by American citizens.
Exactly.
That's not what I'm talking about. That person shouldn't have fucking been here.
So why aren't you making that?
So
argument?
they were. So because they were already a criminal by breaking federal code.
Again, who cares? If you actually cared about the things that did it, you would actually care about things that would reduce that harm. If you want to talk about things that can reduce that harm, we know that people that are impoverished are people that are going to break the law more. If we want to actually get crime to go down, we should be supporting things that benefit the idea of economic growth. You know what helps the
We
economy
haven't talked
grow?
economics at all. We've just
Migration.
been talking immigration this whole time.
This is a debate about economics and immigration, the impact it has on it. So welcome to
I don't like the pivot.
It's a pivot to talk about the topic subject. Okay.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So yeah, again, I can like this all ties in together. If you want to stop crime, if you want illegal people to not do it, then guess what? We should change the law. We should make it much easier to become an American citizen here. You know how I know? Like you said earlier, I don't mind immigrants if they do it legally, right?
Yeah,
Those are your
100%.
words.
But
So let me-
that's the difference.
so let me
but
ask you
that's the
this.
difference. Go ahead.
Why don't we just give asylum to all the illegals here and then they're all here legally? Let them go to the ports, hire a bunch of judges, get them processed. We've now increased everything in America. We know that just offset some birth rate issues. We just added a ton of taxpayer dollars to the system. GDP is going to go up. We now have a bunch of larger working class. We can brag about low immigration numbers.
GDP has already been on a huge growth quarter two. That 3.8%. That's 2.5 over projected view.
Imagine adding 13 million people to that are now legally paying taxes.
So like I said, I'm not against. I'm for legal immigration, not illegal immigration. So
are you cool with that? Let's just the 13 million people roughly number that's suggested. Grant all of them asylum.
the amount of people we took in under the Biden administration, like I said, in February and March of 2022, we were taking on average 10,000 people a day. We cannot even sustain our own people, dude. We got homeless veterans out there. We got, people that are here illegally that hate the United States. And they're here because they love our freedoms here, our social programs, i.e. Social Security, free benefits, so on and so forth.
So they hate the United States so much, they come here, they work to grow our economy, they pay into our taxes, they help with Social Security, and they're like, yeah, gotcha, America.
Not all illegal immigrants paying, sir. Not all illegal immigrants paying. Some come over the border and just disappear.
Did you say legal?
Because they know. No, I said illegal.
Oh, when they disappear, what are they doing? How are they surviving?
They know people here. They're part of a certain group. They're part of a T group. They're part of the cartel, and they're here doing specific things that they're not supposed to be here doing. And CT, you know just as well as I do, people have ill will coming over the border against the United States. You know that.
Yeah, it happened one time 25 years ago, and I'm tired of holding
it. Doesn't. No. CT, so CT, have you ever seen a crackhead on the side of the road in Phoenix, Arizona? They're doing the F lean. I don't know if you see the F drug, but the F drug is causing harm internally inside the United States.
Yeah, and if it
It's
wasn't
coming
that,
over from where?
everywhere,
Mexico.
China mainly.
Mexico mostly. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, but it's getting imported from Mexico mostly.
possibly, but it's funny about
It's
that.
no. It's not a possible. It's a DHS study that majority of F drug is coming from the southern border through
It is
China.
actually, it is a DHS study. You know what that study found? That 90% of the F that was obtained, you know, it was found at legal ports of entry, not illegals crossing the
Exactly.
border.
I'm not saying it's coming from illegal people. What I'm saying is it's a problem that these organizations are bringing people over to be syndicates inside the United States to push us out to the American people.
I don't think they're pushing it out. The American, if it was okay, you remember what it was before F? It was
Yeah,
X. Remember before?
it was M and
Yep.
H.
Remember
It was
before
M
M and
and
H?
H.
It was X.
Yes, it was M and H.
Before X, you know what it was? Molly. Before Molly, you remember what it was? Bike. Like, this is not something that is like somebody else's fucking problem. The reason that we have,
No, this is our problem as a country.
it
That's
is our
what ICE
problem.
is dealing with.
And you're talking about the availability of these things being the issue. I promise you, in America, people are messed up. You know why? They're
Agreed.
downtrodden and they're broke. You know why?
Because addiction's a hell of a thing.
Because we have shitty economic policies. We have a government
It's
that doesn't care
not.
about us.
We have shitty immigration policies.
The
Not
immigration
economic
has,
immigration.
immigration probably doesn't even make an effect of 3% into the issues of our economics in the United States. And why
You
we have
just
so
said it
many impoverished
yourself.
people.
You just said it yourself. How do these rugs get over here? Through legal ports of entry. And that's shitty because we're not vetting the people coming over or checking the cars enough.
That doesn't
or
matter.
using dogs.
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean? What
How
do you
does
mean
that-
it doesn't matter?
How does that get people? Let's say we caught every single one. F was no longer in the United States, right? Now, the same amount of illegals or legals are coming into and out of this country. Do you think that that's going to make the economy better?
I'm not talking. We're not talking about the economy. We're talking about a problem in this country with rugs right now.
My dude,
On F drug.
look right above our
Go ahead.
heads. This debate's about immigration and economics.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Tell me how
So, but
immigration
I-
is going to affect the economy. I've already given you the numbers that show that they're a net
are we
positive.
talking about rug imports or what we were talking about? Or are we talking about immigration policies?
At this point, I'll take any part of the matter that you'd want to stick on. That'd be great.
Okay, like I said, between February of 2022 and March of 2022, it was an invasion at the southern border. We were taking 10,000 people a day.
I wish we'd have been
It's
taking
an
on 20.
invasion, dude.
I wish we'd
It's
have been
an
taking
invasion.
20 or 25 would have been better.
And how can we sustain that? How can, when we can't even sustain our own people, how can we sustain that many people a
Sure.
day?
Let's break it down. How about that? What are you afraid of? That we don't have enough houses for all these people to live in?
We don't have enough health care. We don't have, dude, the VA is failing its own veterans.
Okay. What's that have to do with immigration?
So how can we take people from Uganda or people from Panama because their own country doesn't want them? So they just ship them to the United States.
Are
How is
illegal
that
immigrants
plausible?
going to the VA to get health care that I didn't know about?
No. That's not what I'm saying. We can't even sustain our own people at the healthcare. So how are we going to take immigration? How are we going to take people coming in? That's so much.
Well, I guess we need some people to get to work, create GDP, make the country more money so we can open more
So that's what the big beautiful
shit.
bill's doing.
That's right. We just closed a bunch of hospitals with the big beautiful bill. Fuck.
No.
Ah,
And the
damn.
big
Forgot
beautiful
about that.
bill doesn't take effect until 2026.
Yep.
And do you
there's
know what the
11.
requirements of that for people to be from SNAP or healthcare? If that Trump's weeding out people that can fucking work, dude.
11
that have been claiming this
hospitals.
shit for years.
Countrywide right now, 11 rural hospitals have already said we will not be open next year.
You just answered your own question, the rule to begin with. So they probably didn't have the federal funding to begin with long before the big beautiful bill came into effect.
I don't think so. I think that when the big beautiful bill said, "Hey, we're taking this funding from you," and they went, "Shit, I guess we're closing."
So then
That's
what
direct
was
causation.
Obama so then what was Obamacare meant to do?
Exactly what it did. Get people that didn't have insurance the ability to get so. And before
Exactly. And most of those people are in rural counties.
yeah, and now they have insurance. How's that a bad thing? Affordable insurance.
But yet their hospitals are shutting down.
And whose fault is that?
Obama's.
You're gonna you're gonna blame Obama for Trump's big
Yeah.
beautiful bill shutting down
No.
hospitals.
I just told you the big beautiful bill does not take effect until 2026.
Yeah, and again, people, you know what month it is? You think people are waiting until December to be like, "Hey guys, by the way, we should probably look at next year." Oh shit, we have no money. No, they can look ahead. Most of these people plan.
So they're giving them a whole physical. They're giving them a whole physical year of projections way out that
What's
far.
the point of
So-
closing down the hospitals? What's the positive?
Dude, there was nothing in the big beautiful bill talking about closing rural hospitals, man.
When
Nothing
you take money,
at all.
what? When you take money from the NIH, who provides funding that goes to literally rural hospitals as the #1 contributing factor, what did you think was going to happen?
What NIH like what? So you're telling me? So you're telling me the big beautiful bill is cutting hospital funds from other things, or are you talking about them relying on like Medicare, Social Security, so on and so forth? Like you got to be more direct in your question.
That's a part of it too. Yeah, the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid are going to affect these guys as well.
But it doesn't go into effect until 2026. And that's why Trump's job numbers mostly are for healthcare workers that have been hired, jobs created, so on and so forth. So I don't agree with your health. I don't agree with your rural hospital. Sorry, excuse me, with your rural hospitals going out of business. I don't agree with that at any means. No,
I don't know
you're
how
full of shit.
I don't know how you wouldn't be able to. The directors of these hospitals have come out and said, yes, we get a lot of our funding.
Give me a source on that.
Sure, after the debate, we got 2 minutes left. We can go look it up together. But yeah, I know of at least 11 hospitals right now in America that are going to be closing down in extremely rural areas. And now we're talking that some people that already probably had a 15 to 20, 25-minute drive to a hospital are now looking at over an hour. Would you want to be that person? No matter how you're telling, that when you have a heart attack, you got to wait an hour
you cannot sit here and tell me
to come to you,
dude, you cannot sit here and tell me that, like somewhere, say in Navajo, Arizona, that they already did not have healthcare rural issues, that they already did have lack of funding. This has been a problem.
They just got worse.
This has been a problem way before Trump even came into office, dude. So Obama just magically came out and said, hey, we're going to give healthcare to everybody under Obamacare. So then why weren't these issues brought out when that bill was passed in 2016?
When what bill was passed?
His Affordable Health Care Act, Obamacare, was passed in 2015. I correct myself on that.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, the Affordable Care Act didn't have anything to do with Medicare.
That was supposed to give health care to rural areas. That was supposed to give health care to un-Americans who did not qualify for premium insurance through employers, so on and so forth.
No, that's not. No, it was to create.
Yes, it was. So no, Obamacare was socialized medicine. Yes or no?
No. The Affordable Care Act was the introduction of markets to the idea that other.
Oh,
he's probably getting a phone call. He's getting a phone call.
Yeah, I'm back. The Affordable Care Act.
Hang on, CT. Can we get an extension of a minute just because he got a phone call?
I got you guys. Go ahead. CT. Mojo, you can leave the timer. I'll let him know.
Yep. So the Affordable Care Act actually was nothing more than creating a market that the government could be involved in by providing other smaller companies funding. That way the prices could be driven down for people to actually have affordable insurance.
Yeah, but affordable insurance in this country is what? Driven by socialized healthcare problems, driven by social programs like Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. That's what that thing was supposed to be, with a socialized medicine, dude. It was supposed to give healthcare to people that couldn't afford it in rural areas. So don't sit here and tell me that there's not already problems or programs that were not meant to stop those hospitals from shutting down, because I don't want to hear it, because it's shit.
Medicare and Medicaid make up for less than 30% of the overall insurance providers in the United States. So I'd much rather focus on the 70%.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the Affordable Care Act was meant to give people on Indian reservations in rural America, so on and so forth, health care. That's what I'm talking about.
That doesn't even make sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
You just asked for something that's going to prevent that, and I just gave it to you, and you don't like the answer.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the thing you said about the big, beautiful bill not closing these hospitals. It is. They are. I know you don't like it. It's not a good talking point. It's not something that's fun that people found out about and they didn't think they were going to find in those 1,000-some-odd pages, but we did. We know it's a reality. We know who caused it. So, again, when you talk about worrying about the strain that immigrants put on healthcare, I just don't think you're being honest.
So these rural hospitals are closing because of the big, beautiful bill. You're telling me they did not have financial problems way before Donald Trump was in office?
Where's that minute added?
I added it on my end. That minute was added, and time is up, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Good
Apple,
debate.
good shit.
Yeah,
CT, the fist bumps, dude.
I know. I knew we were going to have a good one. We've had a couple good ones in the past already. That was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
You guys, if you want them, you have 3-minute closing statements if you want to take it.
I'm down if you are.
Yeah, go ahead. Lead the way.
Yep. Just so everybody knows, I write my shit out and I read from it. Don't at me. My name's already ChatCT. You can't make fun of me anymore. All right. Tonight, guys, we've obviously talked a lot about immigration, some about economics. I wish we'd have got more into it. But when you look at the past, again, a lot of the rhetoric that you've heard, luckily my opponent literally brought it tonight. Again, it's fear. It's a fear of people that we don't want to know. We want to have a boogeyman to blame all the economic issues that we have going on in our country. But before we leave tonight, I got 2.5 minutes. Beautiful. I want you guys to keep some of these numbers in your head when you're deciding who won this debate, who really thought about it, who did the work, okay? 1 in 5 workers in labor force is an immigrant. That's over 32 million people keeping our economy moving. The Congressional Budget Office projects that immigration will add almost $9 trillion to the GDP over the next decade. That's not theory. That's measurable growth. We can look this up. Immigrants don't just take jobs. They literally create them. They have an 80% more likely to start a business. Of the 44% of all Fortune 500 companies in America that were founded, they're founded by immigrants or the children of immigrants. I mentioned them earlier. Google, Tesla, Pfizer. These are millions of jobs and trillions of dollars. All right, and let's talk about innovation. Immigrants are behind about a quarter of all U.S. patents. Up to 44% of patents in the tech industry are backed by people that are immigrants. They're also fiscal contributors. In 2022 alone, immigrants paid $194 billion into Social Security, $54 billion into Medicare, which stabilized each one of those programs. Even undocumented workers, who often can't access those benefits, still paid $97 billion in taxes. They're paying in, they're supporting our communities, and they're keeping our system afloat. Honestly, we cannot ignore demographics either. America is aging. The birth rates are falling, retirement's climbing. Immigration has helped solve this challenge by bringing in new working age taxpayer. Without them, Social Security, Medicare, they face huge strains. With them, we can at least keep these programs afloat and hopefully come up with better economic systems for the future. So again, guys, here's the bottom line. Immigration, it's not an economic burden, okay? It's an economic engine. It fuels growth, creates jobs, drives innovation, funds programs, keeps our nation competitive all the time. To reject immigration is to reject growth, stability, and opportunity. To embrace it is to embrace the very thing that has always made America great: hard work, innovation, and a future that's brighter in our past. That's why immigration is not a threat to our economy. It's literally one of the last pillars holding it up. And I'll see my time.
So,
All right, Apple.
yeah, I'll grab that in a sec. CS, you are able to do polling?
Yeah, I can do polls. I got the poll ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I close out before we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 3 minutes.
Left-leaning
Hold on.
polls.
Wait, you've still got 3 minutes too, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got 3 minutes. Yep.
Okay, hold on.
so,
Give me 1 sec. Give me one
you're
sec,
good,
one
you're
sec.
good.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Polls are there.
Dem. Yeah, Dem, you're about to go head to head. Just 1 second, dude. So as I'm closing out, these rural hospitals did not have a problem before President Trump came along. They had a problem long before that because these hospitals have major investors from other healthcare programs. Like, say, for example, if you're in Arizona, you know who Banner is. So say they're going to go close somewhere on an Indian reservation. They're going to open up a clinic there and they're going to fund it. Whether whoever's like they're funding it, whether who their investors are going to keep pushing it because those people have healthcare problems. And I'll swing back again to the Obama fucking healthcare shit. That was meant to bring closing. Fuck, man. CT, you got me all over the place. That was a good debate. But no, so pretty much short story long, Obamacare was meant to give people in rural America health care. So that's what it is. And I don't believe these hospitals are closing because of President Trump's one big beautiful bill. It's not true. His effects don't even take cause until 2026 fiscal year. So that's October of 2026. I heed my time with that.
Thanks, Apple Glock. All right, guys, great debate. Appreciate it. I'm going to put the poll up. So, guys, if you want to vote for the winner, it's going to be in the upper left-hand corner. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, good shit, AG.
Yeah, you too. CT, I knew that was coming, dude.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, it was good.
You had me sweating there at the end because I looked into like the healthcare side of it, but only so much so of like financially, again, like how much people actually dove into like Medicare, Medicaid, and again for illegal immigration, it's not there. They don't get to benefit that, and then even for legal immigrants, it's a very small number. It's like less than 7%. You got to remember that population's not very big, so it's not.
You're not counting their kids and the burden they have on our economy or anything else.
Again, you're talking about such a small population in comparison to the rest of America. I just don't think it's that big. That's the biggest burdensome.
and under the table work, like Apple said, how they undercut American businesses and create wages to go down, so on and so forth. Just had to throw that in there.
I thought competition was good. I thought that's what actually drove the economy up, was competition.
Well, you're not really. It's not really a fair capitalism. Then it's not really a fair trade.
Well,
not trade.
And CT, before we go, or they start, if we're gonna run a Marxist society or a socialist society or communism, what are you guys gonna do when we run out of people's money? Whoa, where'd Democrats go?
I don't know.
Oh no!
Wait. Host, did he get a violation? Can you see?
I didn't see anything pop up. No.
Switching
there
boxes.
Switching boxes. There he is.
He's coming
Okay,
active.
My bad. All right, host. All right, Dave. It's all you, man. I mean, keep in mind we're the home team or we're the road team here. So.
Well, hey, we still got a minute on the poll, so we can just kind of fill that time. So, guys, again, go vote.
Well, let me fill it with this Mojo. So I know it's going to be a little bit difficult. There's no way I can do on TikTok Studio. I can do timers, so it's going to be on you.
All right. Well, we still got a minute. I just want to say Obama's going to jail. He's a treason motherfucker, and he's going to jail.
Dude, we're not ready yet. 1 second. I'm just
Well, you guys said there was one more minute. I've been quiet the whole time. You said there was one more minute left. Kill the time.
All right. I used my time to Democrats for Trump.
Well, hold on. Mojo, are you good with it?
She's not ready for that, bro. She's not ready for what I got.
Oh, dude.
Whoa, hold on, buddy.
I can't turn your mic down. I'm gonna ask you to turn it down.
My mic does not turn down. It's a DJI mic, dude.
Guys. So the thing I say about Democrats for Trump, dude, dude, you just ran through the rounds with us, dude.
I mean, you guys are already talking about. You're already getting offended by the way I talk, what I'm saying about.
No, you're good.
Come on, snowflakes. Don't get melted yet.
All right, listen, we're good. We're going to start off on a good note. And so we're on even playing field right now, all right?
We're good. You're the one offended.
Yeah, no, you're over talking me though. So I'm modding here. So I appreciate you. I'll treat you with respect if you treat me with respect. Okay, we got it.
Well, that's what happened with Trump when the mods tried to interject. You said there was a minute left, and you told me not to talk.
Before we get started, I don't think you're capable.
That's not really being a mod, is it?
No. All right. You know what?
Come on, Dave. Dave, come on.
You're not starting out.
This lady's fake news.
No, okay, but all right, cool. You guys are about to go head to head. Have fun.
All right, I'm going to ask you not to say that to anybody on my panel, especially not my mod. Otherwise, we don't have to do this. I don't need it.
Yeah.
No. Come on.
Hey,
come on,
if your feelings get hurt, that's not my fault, bro. You want to run from this?
Listen, no, nobody.
I'm not talking to you. I was talking to the host.
All right.
Be a mod. Be a mod.
You're being fucking disrespectful to me, and I don't deserve that. So maybe you should take a step back for 1 second. I came nice. I've been respectful to you. I'm asking for respect in return. If you want to start over, we can start over with respect. You good? Or are you running from this?
We're all good.
I don't think he's really.
Dave, your mic cut out, brother.
It looks like you guys are the running from this. You guys are already censoring me and everything else.
Anyways,
so
we're going to start the debate. We're going to do time, so I'll let you know if you're over your time. Mojo, Democrats, whoever wants to go first, we'll start for the 3 minutes opening statement.
Yeah,
Good debate,
are you gonna go ahead and run the timer then?
I can keep an offline timer, yeah, and I'll just give you guys a 10-second warning, okay?
Okay, who's going first?
Can you do like a soundbox or anything?
Can I do a soundbox?
Yeah. Probably not. Don't worry about it.
No, I don't think so.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right, Mojo, do you want to go first? Do you want Democrat to go first?
I don't care.
Okay. All right, Democrat, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right, you got 3 minutes. Start.
All right, I'm Democrats for Trump, and I think capitalism is what runs this successful nation we call the United States, called the land of opportunity. We're going back to our roots, and that's why I call myself a Democrat for Trump. I liked Obama. I think he's corrupt. I think capitalism, you can definitely tell how capitalism is successful because look at all the innovation around the world. Everybody floats to the United States for ideas, for jobs, and just overall we thrive. We are a very diverse nation. We are pro-immigration. We just are against illegal immigration. Capitalism cannot thrive while you have illegal immigrants undercutting American jobs. There has to be a order in this chaos. It's an experiment. We're the United States. We have a lot of different opinions. People want, communism or Marxists, same thing. One's just a road to it. And so capitalism allows you as an individual to thrive. And I don't see the timer, by the way.
Yeah, no, I got the timer going on the side. It's like, give you a 10-second warning, or if you want a 30-second overview, and you got 146.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying is capitalism is what drives the world. Really, we're just the leader of the boat. We're the leader of the pack, and people want to come to the land of opportunity to be able to thrive and innovate. And when you have a reward at the end, you're not just given a participation trophy to try things, or like, who's going to clean up the dog? Who's going to clean up the feces? Who's going to do the nasty jobs? There's still a pecking order. There's still somebody on top and somebody on bottom. Just difference is they don't want you to own anything. They say collectively we're going to own this, but there are a lot of arguments for that, especially in the debate. We'll get into that. But capitalism. The reason Marxism doesn't work is because Democrats don't like it either. Republicans don't like it, so we can agree there for most of us. The socialism takeover of the Democratic Party just isn't working, and that's why the Democratic Party has fallen apart. That's why I am a Democrat for Trump. I'll secede whatever time I got left.
All right, cool, thanks. Mojo, go ahead. 3 minutes. Start.
Yeah, I probably won't need all my time. I'm just going to start out by saying that just defining some things. Capitalism is simply the use of one person's capital mixed with the theft of one person's labor in order to create a profit. Socialism is an economic system that is standing up on top of the people, owning their own means of production, owning their own labor. That would be as a whole or in individual marketplaces. Communism is a form of government where the people own and control that form of government. And Marxism is a philosophy that incorporates both of those things in some way, shape, or form. So when I said Marxism versus capitalism, I am talking about a philosophy versus economic system. So basically, this is socialism versus capitalism. In capitalism, there is an inherent theft of labor. If I create a pair of shoes for $10, for a capitalist that has hired me for $10 to create that pair of shoes, and they sell that pair of shoes for $100, they have stolen effectively $90 from me. They have stolen $90 of my labor. And in a system like that, we require a large pool of unemployed, poor, working class people in order for a very small pool of very wealthy people to make a profit off of taking that labor. This is not a system that can sustain itself. That's why the only reason that we're in existence today is that we have incorporated socialism into the system that we have right now to ensure that that poor working class is taken care of. Because if they're not, the system collapses. I'll leave it at that.
All right, thanks, Mojo. Okay, so 2 minutes for you, Democrat for Trump. Go ahead.
Okay, so the owning the means of production, there's still going to be somebody on the top and somebody on the bottom, that pecking order we're talking about. And so if you think it's not going to be corrupted or, there's not going to be somebody taking advantage of the system, however you want to put it, I call it corruption. And capitalism allows you to steer the ship. It allows you to, have incentives from government, because we do need government, but, we want limited government. And, as a Democrat, I would like to see free health insurance, but I think capitalism is the driver to that. Every social program we have is built off the back of capitalism. Okay. So you can have these things through vouchers or, helping out the farmers, subsidizing and stuff like that, as long as you have an abundance of cash. You can do that through different kinds of taxation like tariffs, where they can eat the cost and absorb some of the cost, and you can work it out where through production and through a good economy it thrives, versus Marxism that it'll eventually burn itself out and it ends up being communist. Marxism just doesn't work, and it's been proven through famine and everything else. They've tried Marxism. Look at North Korea versus South Korea. South Korea went with capitalism. North Korea went with Marxism, turned into communism. You know what I mean? And so we know the difference between the two. History points to what works and what doesn't. And at least in capitalism, you still have your rich and your middle class. You know, I mean, so it's up to you how hard you want to work to obtain these goals. And I'll leave with that.
Thanks. Mojo, you're up.
A capitalist firm that has 10 people working for it, one person would be the owner, 9 people would be employees. That owner doesn't have to add any labor. They don't have to work at all. All they have to do is put up money in order to create that situation. And then the other 9 people are actually doing all of the labor, doing all the construction, doing all the work, creating all the profit. That person on top, the person that owns the company, is then taking whatever profit they can from those workers because they will pay as little as possible. In a socialist system, we can set up worker co-ops where when you put 10 people in a workplace, all 10 of those people are going to be making the exact same amount of money. They do it on a contractual basis. They all agree to buy in for a certain share, and they all take a certain share, and they all lose a certain share if that particular co-op loses money. So they all own equally the means of production in that particular business. This is a much more fair way of doing things, and it means that everybody is actually working for the money that they're making. I'm good.
All right, cool. Democrats or Trump, you got 1 minute.
If you think the person that's taking all the risk and pouring money into building more capital, and you think they're not working, they're doing a different type of work. They're still, in your analogy, there's still somebody on top. There's still somebody making decisions. When you think that collectively as a group, that there's no politics involved there, that there's not going to be somebody on top and bottom and inherently there's corruption. With every workplace, with every government, there is corruption. At least with capitalism, you have a chance to compete with that. Even though the rich elite, you may not obtain that goal, but you can live pretty well, or wherever you want to live. It's up to you and your motivation. That's the difference between capitalism and Marxism and communism and, you know, all these socialists. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Thanks. Mojo, 1 minute. Whenever.
In capitalism, corruption is created by power, which is created by wealth. That power exists through the theft of other people's labor. So the only person that's actually making decisions is the person on top. If you have a co-op workplace, then everybody's making the decisions together, and they're sharing all the profits. They're sharing in all the losses. They're sharing in all the wins. And they're creating a better system for everybody to use. There's just no comparison as to how you can run an economy and how you can actually advance an economy when the profit's being shared amongst everybody rather than going to one individual. Go ahead.
Cool. Thank you both. All right, we're going back to the 2 minutes. So Democrats or Trump, you got 2 minutes.
It's not theft. You know, we live in a free capitalistic society to where even if there's not a job where you're at, you're not a slave. You can migrate anywhere you want to, even if it's not the most ideal situation. You can most definitely create innovation through success and goals and achievements. There's a plateau when it comes to this whole so-called we own the means of production. Okay. And you guys collectively, I don't know why you guys think there's not somebody on top and somebody on bottom. You know, there's still somebody that's going to be, over you, or you're going to be over somebody else. And so it just doesn't pan out the way you guys paint that picture. It's been tried before several times, and it's been shown time and time again. This doesn't work. Capitalism, however, does work. We have social programs. We take care of people. We help people around the world. I call it destabilization, what our corrupt government does, but that's a different story. You know, but capitalism definitely thrives, and you can see it through the success of America. Overall, America is pretty damn successful for this project that we have called the United States. I'll leave with that.
Thank you. And Mojo, 2 minutes.
The Gilded Age showed us that capitalism alone can't work. We had a 90% rate of poverty in this country during the Gilded Age. That was with free markets. That was without regulation. That was with monopolistic systems that were created by a capitalistic system where one person or one small group of people actually own everything in a particular marketplace. And that will cause a system to fail. There's absolutely no way that the United States would still exist as an economic superpower today without socialism, without the social programs that we've created, without the worker programs that we've created through the government. In a co-op, everyone has an equal share in the decision-making process, so there is no corruption. Everybody's got an equal share. They're 1 out of 10 votes, and those 10 votes get to decide how things are done. And in a system where food costs money, where life costs money, you are forced to work. And if you are forced to work, then you are having your labor stolen from you. Good. That was good.
My bad. Democrats or Trump? You got 1 minute.
All right, so it's not stolen from you like you keep alleging that it's stolen from you, because you can achieve anything you want in this country. It's just depends on the work that you're willing to put in. It's not. It's you say there's no corruption with it. Everything's inherently corrupt, man. When you put people involved, we're just people. You know, we do things. People help their family. However you want to talk about the corruption. For you to say there would be no corruption is just a lie, and you're just lying to people with a smile on your face. You know, that's called political correctness, and I disagree with that. I believe in telling the truth and being transparent. And there's corruption. Okay, at least capitalism, you can compete. It's not theft of labor. You can go somewhere else and go get another job. You can create a job. Yeah, I just don't believe in these things. I would rather have a dialogue, not wait for the 15 minutes, because it's better to have a dialogue back and forth and have those arguments. I'll leave it at that.
Sure. We're just in our last round of one, and then you're headed into the 15 minutes, so thank you.
Yeah.
Mojo, go ahead. You got a minute.
You do have to work for someone, though. You say that you can quit a job and go work for somebody else, but you're still working for somebody, and you have to do that in order to put food on the table, a roof over your head, clothes on your back, because everything costs money in a capitalistic system. And if everything costs money, then you have to work, and then therefore you are having your labor stolen from you. As far as corruption goes, I'm going to assume that you think human nature includes greed, and I'm just going to simply tell you that human nature doesn't exist. We are born tabula rasa. We are not greedy. We are not giving. We are not anything. Everything we know, we have learned, and we have been taught from birth to be these little automatons working with inside of a capitalistic system in order to create profits for wealthy people. That is done on purpose, and it's done by design. We can go into the 15 minutes. My first question for you go ahead. I'll stop. I'll stop. No, I'll stop.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, let's go into the 15 minutes. We can start now. Either one of you, get in there. And go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question. First question, though.
Go ahead.
What happens if everyone owns a business in a capitalistic system?
Well, that won't happen. Not everybody wants to own a business.
What happens if they want
You're
to?
talking about it. You're talking about a probability that won't happen.
Why not?
Because people just don't. There's people that don't want to own business. They would rather just go work for their labor. They exchange their time for their labor, have days off, spend time with their family. When business, you're not guaranteed time off. You have to build it up. There's lots of complications that you think they don't work for. You think they just sit in that office and collect money. That's not the case. Not all the time.
I would say in business, you get to make your own schedule. You get to go golfing while everybody else is making you money. So
only if you make your business successful. It's got to be sustainable in order to do it, though. So you can't. It's not like it just puts itself together. You organized it. You hired people to help you. You know, you came up with the ideas, or maybe you took ideas from them as well, and you exchanged their time for money. You know what I mean? And that's not like slave or labor, dude. That's China uses slave labor. You know, communist countries do, absolutely, because they sell you this idea. We're gonna. I mean, you see the way they do it with their big parades in communist countries. Make it look like they're this great leader. Really,
you mean like the parade in D.C.?
But that was an anniversary of our military.
Yeah,
you know, the 250-year anniversary, which which now this year we're having the 250 year of our country. We're bringing America back. That's a big difference.
We're gonna have another military parade in our country as well. Are we gonna start doing
That
this
just
every
happened to
year?
be Donald Trump's birthday.
Yeah.
No, and we do it on special occasions. It was a 250 year benchmark, which is a quarter a century, right? So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
why not? Why would you not want to celebrate the land of opportunity?
I don't
You
know.
don't believe in America. That's why. That's why.
You're the one who was talking about military parades in China, and I just thought that was kind of ironic.
Well, it wasn't military parades. I was saying the way they tell the people like they're the greatest. They have to, praise their leader. In America, you can talk all the shit you want about the leader, dude. Like
Really?
you can't. Yeah.
Because I'm a Marxist and
Yeah.
I'm being told that I'm the enemy within. What are you talking about?
You mean you're Antifa? You're saying you're
No,
Antifa?
I'm a Marxist.
Right? Well, I mean, what do you mean you're being told? You have the freedom of speech. You're on TikTok right now talking about it. So what do you mean?
I am.
If you're talking about Jimmy Kimball, he's back on the air, isn't he?
I'm at risk of being thrown in jail for my thoughts.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
Because I'm a Marxist.
So I watched Hillary Clinton literally throw somebody in jail for a meme they shared. 4 years after Donald Trump got out of office, the Biden administration, like 2 months in, arrested this guy for sharing a meme that he didn't even create. Look it up, man.
Yeah, that would be fire in a crowded theater, just so you know. That said,
That would be what?
That fire in a crowded
That would
theater.
be what?
Fire in a crowded theater. That's what that
No,
meme was.
he shared a meme. He shared a meme.
That disenfranchised voters.
No, it definitely didn't. It was a fucking meme that said text here. That's it. And then they threw him in jail 4 years later.
Back to capitalism and socialism.
So you're okay with that? So you're okay with him being locked up, right?
Well, we are having a debate on capitalism and socialism, yes.
Oh no, but this is open mic though, man. So you're okay with one side locking him up. So you're okay with one side locking them up, right? But not the other side. Gotcha. You're in fear for you now, but you weren't in fear back then. Okay.
What
I understand.
what I'm not okay with is having people's labor stolen from them. What I'm not okay with is having a large, poor working class that lives below the poverty line. What I'm not okay with is utilizing our funds.
So they need to get off their ass and work.
Yeah, except they can't because we have an unemployment rate.
No, they're too busy protesting or being TikTokers.
We have to have an unemployment rate in this country because capitalism requires unemployed people. They have to be unemployed, otherwise the system fails.
So yeah, there's some people that will be unemployed in the middle of transitioning to either another job, maybe they're moving. There's lots of reasons why unemployment exists, but we have those systems in place because of your great old capitalism that pays into these systems. Okay. And with Marxism, you see bread lines, and you've seen it with the famine in China, dude.
We need at least 3 to 4% of the population to be unemployed at any given time. We're talking about
why do you want a failed system?
We're talking about more than 100,000 people that have to be unemployed. They're required to be unemployed in a capitalistic system. If we don't figure out a way to take care of those people through socialistic means, because it's not going to be done.
I'm not against social programs. I'm not against social programs. I'm against socialism. Big difference.
No, then you're not against socialism at all. Can I start? Will you allow me to start a co-op in the system that we have today?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a free system that works for Americans. If you want to be a part of a co-op, I think that's great. I also know capitalism builds everything we have. You know what I mean? And so you have the let me give you an example. Free insurance. I think we can have so-called free insurance if our country was thriving through different types of taxation, and you can have some vouchers that private insurance is actually what is the insurance. You'll have your private sector. Your country can give you vouchers, kind of like subsidizing farmers. As long as we have the abundance of federal dollars, it's okay. But if we don't, you're just going to have to buy your own insurance, you know what I mean? Or unless you qualify for the social programs we have.
You're starting to sound like a socialist, man. Sounds to me like
no, you can have privatized. You can have privatized healthcare with federal dollars, as long as a country you agree on that, and you see, right now, I don't believe in it because there's so much corruption within our government. I think they would abuse our dollars so much there wasn't any extra dollars to give people vouchers for. So and that's one reason that Donald Trump is trying to have these like Alaska has sovereign nations fund. Okay, so that way you get paid to be a United States citizen. You actually get paid to live here, like Alaska, but all over the country. All these states will have these different programs, and that's actually government owned, which is not really Republican, is it? But Donald Trump's coming up with it. Do you realize that?
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that socialism is awesome. And I think that's great.
Yeah,
Welcome
but
to my side,
that's
dude.
not
Welcome
Republican.
to being a
That's not
socialist.
Republican.
You are well on your way, sir, to being a fucking
It
Marxist.
says Democrat for
Let's
Trump. It
do
does.
this.
It does not say. It says
Hey,
Democrats
guys,
for
can we not
Trump. It
talk
does
over
not say
each other?
Republican.
Let's let each other finish. Thank you.
So it says Republicans. I mean, it does not say
Yes.
Republicans for Trump. It says Democrats for
But
Trump.
you
And
are-
Donald Trump, just proof here, Donald Trump is doing it, and some of his top picks were Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Elon Musk, all Democrats.
You are okay with co-ops existing in the system. You are okay with the government owning the means of production, especially in certain forms, and in certain ways, in certain markets. And you are okay with social programs being used to make sure that everybody in this country has their basic needs met. You are a socialist, sir.
Let me tell you a secret. I believe what Elon Musk believes. We will have a cashless society one day. Okay, but we're not there yet. We're not even close to being there. And the driver to that is actually capitalism. Think of it as a stepping stone. Think of capitalism as a stepping stone towards progress, because the true progressives are actually capitalists. They're the ones that want to, that innovate and create factories. Look at Henry Ford. How factories operate to this day is because of what he did. He made cars affordable through production. You know what I mean? So it's fair to say one day we will have a cashless society because of technology.
It's so hilarious that you say that. Marxism, communism is the next rung up the ladder. Capitalism is a stepping stone in between feudalism and communism. That is exactly what Marx said. Marx said that specifically.
But it's unsustainable with what the technology is today, though. It's not right now.
Marx also specifically said that we would live in a cashless society. Man, you were sounding more and more like a socialist here. This is crazy.
Yeah, but you're not understanding that, like, the tool is capitalism. So of course, if technology's gotten to the point where it's literally doing everything for you, pretty much, except for things that people just want to do, that's different. That's different because you have a society that's pretty self-sustaining all the way around the board, and then there's not going to be this I don't think this big political atmosphere at that point because capitalism built that.
Yeah, we use capitalism in order to. All right, we use capitalism in order to move up the ladder. Feudalism was bad. We moved to capitalism. Capitalism is bad. We are moving towards socialism, and it sounds to me like you're already prepping for that. It sounds to me like you shouldn't be arguing for a capitalistic system. You should be arguing for the future that moves us past
capitalists create innovation. No, so stifling the innovation by creating a Marxist society now would stop the progress in its tracks and create breadlines. That's why I understand capitalism drives innovation, and as we have innovation, we can have this, so-called Marxist society you talk about, because there'll be a limited political environment at that point, I think, because it's self-sustaining. It's getting to the self-sustainability that Elon Musk talks about.
Labor creates innovation. Governments create innovation. All of the vaccines that we have, all the medicine that we have, all of the education that we have, these are all created by government, by our government specifically. All of our innovation is coming from social programs, social work, and social funding. We pay for these things, and then we allow corporations to.
Let me interject just 1 second. I understand what you're saying. Let me just interject for 1 second. So if, let's say, my grandma, I'm a billionaire, my grandma has a rare disease, my starting to fund this operation to find a cure is sparked by my interest or a need and necessity, which drives the innovation. And the capitalist, the nature of it, paying people a good wage to, try really hard. There's an achievement there. They get bonuses, whatever. That is where the realness lies when it comes to a capitalist society, is innovation.
Let each other finish each other's thoughts, please, or finish your thoughts.
When you
Bad luck.
free up the human mind from worrying about meeting basic needs, when you free up the human mind from worrying about where their next meal is going to come from and where they're going to sleep that night and how they're going to put clothing on their back, when you free up somebody's mind to do that, they are allowed to do what they do best, and that's to think and to imagine and to invent and to create things. When you live in a system that, like a capitalistic system, where everybody's just working to get a better car, a bigger house, a white picket fence, then nobody's creating anything. Nobody's using their labor for things that are good. They're using their labor just to keep the system going the way it is. So I would suggest that a socialistic system would actually give us a hell of a lot more innovation. The genome was mapped under a socialistic system. The match was created for free. The polio vaccine was created for free by a socialist. I think you're missing out here. I think
It was not.
It was. It was absolutely.
It was not. It was not. It was funded by government. It was funded by government, okay? And the government is done through taxation. And it was done through capitalism, through people, and businesses and innovation. And what drove the innovation is the different, people, medicines in general. The only reason we have science to the level it is today is through capitalism. It makes more money. They charge, ridiculous amounts of money for these new medicines that come out, especially cosmetic medicines, stuff that people don't really need, but they do to look better or whatever. And innovation is driven through money and capitalism. I'm sorry, man, but that's just the way it is.
It doesn't cost money to invent something.
Yes, it does cost money.
No,
you think your idea that pops in your head, you're just going to go do it? Because why? I mean, where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to get the money from? We don't have a cashless society. In the system we live in today, it's capitalism. Will we have a cashless society one day? Probably. That's only because capitalism driven us to that point. I'm not a Marxist. I don't believe in, socialism or anything like that. But I believe we can have some of these things with an abundance of cash through a great capitalist society, being the top dog, the United States, the golden ages. Anyway, I'll leave it with that.
When you say that we take the funds of the people as a whole in order to create a government that is controlled by the people as a whole, and we use those funds to create vaccines and create medical cures and create technology for the good of the people as a whole, you are describing communism, not capitalism.
Fair enough.
You guys get one more minute.
Well,
okay. Well,
I'm good with that. He just became a communist right there. I don't know what to tell you.
No. I just understand that capitalism drives any social programs we have. You're not in the society we live in today. You can't have communism in America, or otherwise you're going to ruin it. Every time they try this, Marxism paves the road to communism, which creates famine and it's just a bigger lock on the people. The government owns everything. I want to be able to own what I want to own. And just because it may be a cashless society one day doesn't mean that you won't have private ownership. I think you're misconstruing what I'm saying. Just because we'll have a cashless society and robots are doing pretty much everything, I just think that we'll still own things. We'll still have property. I don't know how that'll look. It will be exchanged through labor back by the time it gets to that point. I don't think so, because robotics will be there. I don't know what our future looks at that point.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
We're not there. We're not there. That's it.
I'm good.
Mow your roars loud in the jungle of steel, stripes like fire, claws that feel, Democrats chant, red hat spinning. Who's the prey? Who's really winning? Debate stage burning, sparks in the night. Truth or a lie, who's ready to fight? Marxism howls, capitalism bites. Who's got the teeth? Who's for Trump, a world in rage. Capital kings with their crowns of gold, workers' chains, rusted but bold. Marxist whispers in the factory halls, while profit towers cast in long walls. Marxism howls, capitalism bites. Who's got the teeth? Who's got the right? Mojo the tiger tearing the stage. Democrats for Trump, a world in rage. Roar of the tiger, echo of the fight. Who's in the shadows? Who claims the light? Debate like thunder, words like knives. Which side's freedom? Which side survives?